Good morning, everybody. I'm not vlogging a whole lot. I'm enjoying life, just chilling, resting, resetting my mind. And right now, I'm out walking this highway. Yeah, I'm on this lonely highway up here in Washington State. Beautiful view. Just look at that. Big old beautiful trees, man. Little walk and talk video. So I want to give a little story to you all. How this vlog began. How this vlog began, it wasn't nothing about building a house, okay? The vlog began with us watching YouTube, and this guy that had been chatting up a girl, having an online long distance relationship with a girl there in the Philippines. He finally bought a plane ticket, came to visit her for maybe about a week, 8-10 days, something like that. And in the midst of that, he hooked up and visited the farmer down in Bohol. And he decided to create his own YouTube channel. And the farmer down in Bohol gave him a little plug, a little shout out back when the farmer had people that was actually watching his channel. And he was off and running. He had a new YouTube channel. That's kind of interesting, you know, like many of you and YouTube channels going on, what's happening. And so I looked over to see what his content was, and he had just a handful of videos only, not much. And this girl he was having this online long distance relationship with, beautiful girl, beautiful Filipina without a doubt. This guy's from up somewhere, I don't remember, like Michigan or somewhere up like that. And he wasn't there long. He flew back, and he's making videos, everything about the Philippines. But this dude had, you know, a week's experience there, 1 week's experience. And all of a sudden he's got all these people because of that shout out from the farmer down in Bohol. He's got all these people watching him and listening to him like he's speaking the gospel, man. Like he in a week knew everything there is to know about the Philippines, or where he had been. He landed in Cebu, he rode a ferry or whatever across over to Bohol, and he had been out in the province area with this girl briefly. Couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. He's just spouting off all this advice for this and this advice for that. And I was listening to him, and man, he's giving lots of bad advice. Lots of bad advice. For me at that time, I had already been in the Philippines back at that date and time, back and forth to the Philippines for stints of time, you know, back and forth. What year was that? So that put it 10, maybe I already had 12, 13 years experience. I don't know. I had to think about it for a minute. Well, I can add it pretty fast. 15, 13. I had 13 years experience in the Philippines myself, and there's some guys a whole lot more than me out there. But I had already petitioned my wife. We'd been married already in the Philippines. I'd already gone through the visa process, handled it all myself, no attorney. Went smooth as pie. If I told you how fast it went on a marriage visa, you wouldn't believe me. But I'm not here to give visa advice. So I listened to all this garb he was spouting out, and people are just listening to him like he is preaching the gospel, and he's going to mislead a lot of people. And that was a concern of mine. And one thing he said there was so wrong and needed to be corrected. So, as a viewer, I commented on his video, letting him know that he had gave some wrong information there, and wrote and copy pasted what the correct information is, and shared it to him in case he might want to look, and stand corrected, okay? And maybe he might want to put a video out saying, hey, you know what, I was wrong on this, and you all don't follow that advice, I made a mistake. Simple, simple, simple. But instead, this dude took my comment, he screenshotted it, and now remember, I don't have no YouTube channel, I'm just hollow commenter out there. And he targeted me for his next video. He tried shaming me and mocking me, and he don't know me from nothing. I mean, I'm just a blank face out there. And I'm like, man, what the heck? Why would you do that? And I wrote him, and I said, man, you made this video all about me. All I was trying to do was help you, sir. I said, I didn't say anything bad or insulting to you. I just gave you corrected information. But some people, I guess I've probably been guilty of it in my life too, did not want to stand corrected. But he did it in a very nasty way. So then he made his next video about me again. About me contacting him about the first video. And I'm like, this dude has no life. No true content if all he can do is make videos about me. A nobody, a face, nobody knew me. We have no vlog, we have no channel, we have no picture, and he was very condescending and very nasty in his videos. I mean, nasty as in, a very mean, retaliatory way that he would do it, and still presenting himself like God. And he was very braggadocious in his videos, with all of his things and showing off all kinds of stuff, and it was all about him. And I got aggravated, and I said, you know what? These guys out here making these channels, been to the Philippines one time, very limited exposure, hadn't done crap, hadn't done really any real life experience, given visa advice, and hadn't even got a girl there himself to the US yet, hadn't even went through the process. All he'd done is file some papers, and he's going to tell how to do it all and be a winner. I decided that I would make a channel, and I would share advice, and I'd share our lives. I tell real deal information. But thing is, information always changes and it evolves because rules and laws and situations change. So in the beginning, out of that experience, I decided to make a channel. I wasn't even looking at money aspect or anything like that. I just wanted to take the experience I already had for years in the Philippines and already going through a visa process and being highly successful with a CR1 visa. That's a marriage visa, married in the Philippines. We didn't wait no 2 years. Melinda was to the US, and she'll tell you, within just a few months. Just a few months. Yeah, and she was there, and we would have been there faster. Two things. We would have been there even faster if it wasn't for the fact that we were waiting for Melinda's updated passport with her married name, because we had got married just not far before then when I had filed for it, and we had to wait for the Philippine government there to get her out a updated passport with her married name now. And then the second thing is in the midst of processing, back at that time, you can probably look it up. It's probably information still floating out there on Google. The embassies everywhere had a computer problem that globally shut down all the immigration process while they figured out this problem on these servers. I think maybe they had an attack. And so it took them a little while to get everything back online. So that put us about another 30 days right there. Just in a few months, Melinda was on her way and on U.S. soil with a CR1 marriage visa. I handled it all myself. I corrected the embassy as to what they were doing was only in-house rules, not law. And we're going to handle this by law. I'm not going to tell you how to do it because I'm not a lawyer, and I'm not going to give visa advice, especially like that guy that was wrong. But there is a lot of in-house rule that happens up there in those embassies that is not necessarily law. And I went after the law. And I have wrote to my congressman, asked them to verify these laws, verified the law, sent me back a letterhead from the congressman. I presented that to the embassy, provided them with the law, and they said, how quick can she be here? And we processed very fast. In fact, the day that we went to the embassy, I didn't even stand in line. Went straight to the front of the line. Melinda, tell you all, when Melinda went to St. Luke's for her medical, they brought her in first. They asked her if she was married to a diplomat or a celebrity, because they had on their screen a rush order to process her through. And the reason I'm telling this, I'm not trying to give legal advice. I'm not going to tell you how I did it. Not going to do it. If you want to figure it out on your own. But the fact is that I was very well versed with the law. And I've always been good with those things. Always been good. I don't take simple no's for an answer. But I try not to get too ugly. I just want to deal with fact. Don't want to raise voices and get nasty and carry on and all that. I want to deal with fact, and I presented fact, and I presented a verification of the facts. And at that point, they had no choice but to follow the law. So I knew what was going on. I've been through several relationships in the Philippines at that point in time before Melinda. I went through a couple different relationships over outside of Bacalin. I went through a failed relationship. I don't tell much about my past on that, but let me tell you, I've been through the ringer. That girl put me through the ringer, man. She also made me smart as hell. She really wised me up going through a failed relationship there. Dated a girl up in Manila. Really great girl. Just our relationship ended not because of she was bad or anything. She was actually a great person. We're still friends to this day. And it's just her lifestyle did not match my lifestyle. So I wasn't going to force it with some non-compatibility being there. And I walked away, even though she was a great person. And like I say, we're still friends to this day. Very good person. It's just not compatible with lifestyle. She wasn't no scammer. She didn't have no drama or nothing like that. And I respect her. I went on and just by total chance met Melinda, and she was my compatibility. She was that wonderful person, and you need to take time and do that. You need to find that right person. Just because you started chatting somebody and because you feel bonded to them because you sent them money, because you was a fool for sending someone you don't know money, doesn't mean that's your person. You kind of fall underneath that deal sometimes, like, you know, I forget what they call that syndrome, but where somebody gets kidnapped and after a while being held with their kidnapper, they start developing some type of weird bond or relationship with their kidnapper. even though it's very twisted. Well, sometimes you sending money and getting caught up in your own mind that you have some kind of superior relationship that's just most wonderful in the world with a stranger you've never met. That does not mean that's the person for you. I'm telling you, know when to walk away. It's kind of like that old Kenny Rogers song, The Gambler, know when to fold them. Was it saying know when to walk away and know when to run? Yeah, you got to never count your money sitting at the table. So yeah, so that's how this all got started. And we decided to just share our lives, share a couple that are compatible, that we have a little bit of an age gap but not too extreme, which I don't care what your age gap is, but that we have a real relationship with compatibility, and that I've got a lot of experience going and being around the Philippines, traveling around the Philippines. Prior to this vlog, I did a lot, and that's how it all began. So take your time, and don't always necessarily believe everything some vlogger tells you, because they can give you a lot of bad information. They'll brain you off the bus and they'll feel like they know everything, or they're regurgitating bad information that some other vlogger gave them, and they're just passing it along like it's the gospel. So do your homework and your own due diligence outside of YouTube, and make sure that what you're believing is real. Well, I'm going to close it out, and this is all I have to say on this topic, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it maybe opened your eyes up and pull your head out of the sand and deal with reality. And I'm going to get back to enjoying this day and with our friends. So everybody take care, God bless, and we'll see you on the next one.